So, show of hands, who knows who this is? Does anyone want to name him?
Nick Cage.
Okay, I didn't ask you. So, Nicolas Cage, a lot of you might think he's insane, which is actually the way he advertises himself. Some actors hate getting into, what do they call it? All right, I don't remember what they call it, but it's typecasting. Nicolas Cage got himself into a typecast job, which is why he's so easily able to find work. And that's the whole reason, because he advertises himself correctly. He knows what he's good at, so why not just keep doing that? Who knows who this is? Do you want to name them again?
Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton.
Okay, so irregardless of what you think about the presidential election, there's no denying that she did a whole bunch of things wrong with her social media and with what she did in the campaign. And social media part of it, it's something that, let's say, the first day I came to Met, we came in here, we learned about each other, we met new people, and then right after that, we went up to the tech lab and made Twitter accounts and LinkedIn accounts, and there was a reason for this. It's because the world now, with jobs and other things, you have to have social media. It's reputable and it allows you to post things about yourself, not silly things like this, but something of you working, doing something productive. Even though Cameron's got a whopping 2 likes, he still posted it, which is good. Social media and jobs. I actually just applied to Fry's, and they actually asked if you had social media accounts, and if you gave them some, like I just gave them my LinkedIn. I didn't give them the Twitter, but they said that that's a good thing, because most people that come in, they'd say like 95% do not have a LinkedIn, which there's really no reason not to, because you can get endorsements, and it'll help you out with jobs. And it's accessible to all. Like, your social media, it's not really secure. There's companies that are paid to find out about you, and they will find out about you. They'll make a fake account, and they'll follow you. So eventually you'll slip up and they'll know. Improve your presence. Having a private social media account, it's perfectly fine, but having one for your work is a lot better too, because we all post stupid stuff, we all repost stupid stuff. It's just something that started happening. And up there is a picture from our presentations that we did to the people that came in for MET. And a lot of them, when you see them taking pictures, it's probably a good idea for yourself to take a picture and post it, because it's showing you doing something productive, and it's not going to hurt you to post something that's not ridiculous. Don't be afraid to brag about your community work. Okay, let people know that you're doing something good for the world, and learn how to effectively sell yourself. Why? You can build it yourself, okay? Most people on social media are just reposting and saying things that have happened before, but if you build something, you can build yourself basically what is essentially an extra resume. And employers seek it, like I said, with the whole Fry's thing. They asked if I had one, and I showed them the LinkedIn, and they said that that was a really good thing to have. Being without social media is actually becoming unheard of, and one day probably will be unheard of. And it's accomplishment storage. Like, if you have social media, it's not going to hurt you to have one that you can show to employers and to people that are potentially want to work with you. So upgrading yourself to the public is the best thing that you can do with yourself, and that's what social media basically does. Douglas Eulinger, prodigy child. Regardless of the photo, it's a little pixelated, but his Twitter is actually helping him, and he doesn't know it yet. If he were to apply for a job and show them that, hey, I go to MET, I do this, I do community work, it's going to help him with that job, irregardless. Positive exposure, this would be, again, community projects, personal project work like we do here at MET. Some of them don't get shown, like the tent, if you know what the tent was. Everyday good deeds, just community work. You help someone out, take a picture with them, show it to the world, tell them what you did. And empathetically working, that we all know, we've learned that enough here at Met, that empathy is one of the keys to doing a good project. Negative exposure would be, of course, you don't want to post if you're underage drinking. Even around it, if you're not drinking it, Mr. Kidd explained that those pictures can and will get caught, and it could really screw you over. Generally, heavily opinionated things, it's not wrong to have an opinion, but when you think about it, you're advertising yourself. If you advertise to an employer something just ridiculous, it's not going to help you. That's a not so smart article. To conclude, you need to not be two-faced on your social media accounts. So you can't just go back on everything you say just because you're trying to help yourself out with an employer. And you can avoid that by having a separate social media account like a private one, LinkedIn. You can show what you do good for the world. And that's it. Thank you.